Welcome to Homestead, Miami. We're racing final race of the 2015 Late Pro Series. Tonight we're doing the Real Deal 150. Last race of the season, guys. What do you think?
Pretty excited about it, Mike.
Yeah, good to be here, Mike. Good to be back after a long break.
Yeah, Jamie, Dustin, man, it's definitely 2 weeks off, and starting off the new year with our last race of the season, just finishing up that last season. Looking forward to crowning a championship. We got really a 3-car battle here for the championship, so it should be interesting to see how it plays out. We're gonna have to keep an eye on a couple drivers. Let's take a look at that chase grid. You can see right now John Frisching Jr. He's got a 12-point lead over James Skelton, so it's not a bad lead. 12 points is, I'd be happy with that going in today's race, but in no means is it a gimme. He's going to have to pay attention to his race. He's going to have to make sure he stays up front if he wants to guarantee his position. James Skelton, he's going to want to, win this race if he can. If he's going to have any shot at the championship, he really has to make sure he's finishing as best as he can. And then Nelson Rivera, 14 points back, he's still in the picture as well.
Yeah, I'm really liking James Skelton right now. He's been running consistently, and in the multiple leagues that we have, multiple sessions that we run, we constantly see him up towards the front, even winning some races there. So, to your point, it's nowhere close to being one person's championship just yet, and I think we're going to see Nelson and Ed Skelton really put on the pressure to get the win here.
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys. James has been on a tear lately, and it's good to see him do that. But, John Frisching is the epitome of Mr. Consistency. So, it's going to be hard for these guys to take it away from him. And him being the defending champ, he's definitely been here before. So, we'll just have to see how this race plays out. And we're looking forward to seeing how this last race of the season goes before we start next year.
Yeah,
well,
but
what I think it's...
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh, what I was going to say is what I think is interesting is we're taking a look at pit road and just doing some in the pit reporting here, and James Skelton is yet to get out on the track. He's still sitting on pit road.
Yeah, that's interesting. We got a 10-minute qualifying session. Maybe he doesn't want to get out there and get in the mix until until some rubber gets put down. Maybe he wants to see what these other guys are capable of. He was on the track a lot during practice, very consistent. I saw him practicing his pit entry, and he was the fastest, I believe, during practice. So I'm sure we'll see him on the track before this session is over.
Yeah, he's probably waiting to take his time, let some rubber get laid down. It sounds a little funny, but maybe these guys, after they run a few laps, a lot of them, come back in the pit and kind of sit there after they've got their laps. So maybe he's hoping to get out there by himself and get some clean air.
Yeah, he's definitely sitting right on that cone. He's definitely maybe looking at that trap map and trying to see, where he can get a gap. There is a pretty big gap on the track right now if you take a look at our NAVSCAR live logo there. So maybe he's just waiting to see and get things cleared out and then get himself some open air. Right now, Calvin Allison in the 28 car, he's got that fastest position. Looks like he ran his fastest lap was a 28.874. Second place, Nate LaFleur, 28.891. So some pretty quick laps tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, these guys are going to be going at it all evening. I think where it's going to be interesting, and I'm going to kind of call it here now, is, in these corners, this is a fast track, and with the draft, it's even faster. And as they're entering the corner, I think if we're going to see some issues, we're going to see some cars, we're going to see some guys have some problems keeping the car low if they're running that inside line, because the car is going to want to drift up. And, and depending on where the drivers are getting their entry points and turning in the middle of the corner, it's going to prove to make the night interesting. As we see James Skelton getting ready to go out on the track in 1 and 2.
Well, let's follow along with James here and see what kind of times he can put down. He's got 16 cars that have put down a lap in front of him here, so let's see what he does as he takes the green flag for his first lap here. I think you're right, though. I think the cars are going to end up pushing as we get some tire wear. I think that outside wall is it's going to come into play later on during this race. We might even see some guys try and move up the track and run that high line and see if they can put down some quick laps with that. Look at that. First lap down, he gets 28.804. That's, sorry, 28.804. Yeah, that's quite a bit quicker than the second place of Calvin Allison. So he's going to shut it down, and we'll see him probably go back into pit road and wait for his chance to start this race.
Yeah, that's a really impressive time, guys. I mean, just bring the car out there and just lay that kind of track time down. That speaks quite a bit to what the rest of the field got to contend with tonight.
We were talking to him earlier in practice, and he was definitely sounding like he was hungry. He knows what he's got to do here tonight, and for him to have this thing roll like he wants, I mean, he's got to lead the most laps and hope for a little bit of trouble out of John, but he's definitely getting a good start here, and you got to remember, this thing isn't over until it's over, so it'll be exciting to watch James be fast again here tonight like he's been all year.
Yeah, I did notice James is out of his car, so he's happy with that time. He won't be putting down another lap here. 2.5 minutes to go. Let's take a look at our battle for the booth standings going into our last race of the season. Looks like right now, if I can look at that, it's kind of small on my screen here. 463 points for myself. Second place, Dustin, you're at 430 points, and then Jamie, 359 points, I believe. So I think I got this one locked up, boys.
Yeah, you had it locked up since about the second or third race, so good job by you.
Well, I guess we should go ahead and put our last picks in. Last week, Jamie, buddy, you were on the track and you went with yourself, and it looks like you had the lowest of the three. So why don't you go ahead and make a pick for us tonight?
Well, I'll be more than happy to do that. I'm going to go ahead and choose James Skelton.
Yeah, pretty safe bet considering he's sitting on the pole and he's got a lot to race for tonight. He's gonna have to have a good finish, and hopefully this is the race that breaks the curse.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you could tell, but there was a mic drop there after I said it.
Yeah. Right now, John is like, "This is the best thing that could ever happen to me." Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
Dustin, who are you going with tonight?
I'm gonna choose Allison tonight. I got nothing to lose, so he's usually pretty good here. So we'll see how he does tonight.
Another safe pick sitting up there in second, and I think it looks like my pick here. It's a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the 15. I don't believe I've picked him 3 times this season. Let me just double check here. 1, 2. Yeah, I've only picked him twice, so I will pick him. For this race, he's got a lot running for him tonight as well. So, looking to see him finish up front. Calvin's still turning some laps. He's put down the most laps out of anybody on the track right now. 15 laps of qualifying here. I think he's just trying to maybe get a fuel run as we ride down our 27 seconds left in this session.
Yeah, I think James has got him stunned, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the field is not anywhere close to running the speed that he's running. So, without us even seeing them turn a lap under race conditions with a full field, it feels a little bit like it's James's race to lose.
Definitely his race to lose, I think. Starting on the pole, he's going to just look to gap the field a little bit right off the bat. But really it's all in John's hands. How he does the championship is really it's up to him. He's going to have to make sure he keeps it clean, and he's going to want to get a good start here. He's sitting 5th, which isn't horrible. And I think if he can finish 5th or 6th, he locks up the championship. Now, bonus points can come into play, and a 12-point gap can actually close. I think about 5 or 6 bonus points are on the table. So to really lock it up, I think John's going to finish in the top 5.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't John our if he wins the championship tonight, he'll be our first back-to-back champion?
Yes, he will. He will have won two official seasons in a row. Mike Abbott won the first one, I believe, and I think you won our preseason, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, our preseason, but I guess I was just putting it in the bucket of the Pro Series.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I was saying I think he's going to be our first back-to-back if he's able to pull it off tonight. But there's no point in handing this off to John here without seeing what James has got for him.
For sure. For sure. All right. Looks like the cars are gridding up. We'll be getting on our pace lap pretty quick here. Let's go over the starting grid. First row. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. Let me make a quick change here. There you go. First row, we got pole sitter James Skelton with that blazing lap, and outside that row, we got Kelvin Allison.
Row 2, we got the 81 of Nate LaFleur and the 911 of Will Long.
Row number 3, John Fershing Jr., and outside we've got the 2 car of Joshua Buckley.
Row 4, the 922 of Nelson Rivera and the 8 of Brent Rodders.
Row 5, we've got Keith Haney starting on the inside, and on the outside of him, we've got Chris Sharp.
Row 6, we got the 905 of Craig Sykes, the 930 of Daniel Haney.
In row number 7 on the inside, we got the 4 car of Ricky Goodman. On the outside, we've got the 904 of Jordan Beck.
And rounding out the field tonight, it looks like it's going to be the 67 of Andrew Packer and the 900 of Brian Wynn with Bruce Potter shotgun on the field with no qualifying time.
And Dustin Phillips is in the booth with us, not racing on the track. So that gets us started. Just want to mention this is a sponsored race. We are running the Real the Real Deal Graphics 150. Real Deal Graphics, a new member of ours who's not here tonight, but has put together a bunch of paints, and he offers his services to any drivers. He does really nice paints for $25. One of our racers in here tonight is running one of his paints. Let's see if I can take a look at it. The 900 of Brian Wynn, that CRC pink blue car. Very nice paint job on that thing. So if you're looking for a paint, go on to Facebook, Google, or search however you can, Real Deal Graphics. You'll find his stuff, and you can hit him up for a paint. $25, I believe, gets you your own custom paint, and he will be doing a paint job for the winner of this race as well.
Yeah, we got to talk about Brian Wynn in that CRC shop. They were just recently here in Minnesota, where I'm at. And, Brian had some real good success over the weekend running his RC cars here. So, congratulations to him and that team for the work that they did to put together some great cars out there. So hopefully that good luck he had here will carry over into the race.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure CRC would like to see another win for those guys. Yeah, like you said, a couple wins for them over the weekend, him and his teammates. So, yeah, I love seeing those videos, man. That's some pretty cool stuff as we're looking to take the green here.
Big push there from the 81 on the 86 of James Skelton.
Yeah, just was able to push that 86 right by that outside 28, and looking like they're going to make some moves here.
It's kind of interesting too. John's not too far back, but he's definitely got a lot of company around him in that 15.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him race pretty conservatively in that position. He's got the 922 right underneath him. He's got the 911 behind him, and he's really got a pack of about 6 cars kind of bunched up behind him. So he's going to be wanting to play it a little careful here, maybe put some gaps between these guys, but he doesn't want to fall back much farther than where he's at right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's in a good spot too. As long as he can maintain that position, and it doesn't seem like he's getting too much pressure from the 911 or the 922. But that's just everybody's got fresh tires. Everybody's just trying to get a feel for the track as we see Brent Cowboy Rogers get real wide there. trying to make it 3 wide down the backstretch.
Some real good racing going on there, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. As expected, the 86 of James Skelton has put a bit of a gap on the field there. He's going to use that clean air to try and put as much space as he can in between that first and second place vehicle. Definitely want to let these guys battle that out behind him. And John, still has his handful with Nelson Rivera looking on the inside here.
Yeah, I would agree. Nelson is definitely all over the back of the 15, John Pershing.
Brings up an interesting question. All of these guys are aware of the three drivers really battling for the win here. Nelson being one of them, I believe. Nelson's in the running, and James Skelton and John Pershing. They're really the 3 drivers that have a chance at that championship, and all these guys are aware of it. So if you're on the track and you really don't have, a chance at that championship, how do you race these guys when you're looking for your own win?
Well, I'll go first. I mean, I think their mindset right now is not only to win this race. I mean, they're looking for momentum. I mean, all these guys are. Some of these guys that we didn't think that had a really good year, and I think it's fair to say Mike Abbott was one of them. We've seen some guys just really struggle during the year, and they're looking for momentum going into next season. As we know, next season is it's following the actual series. I mean, there's a lot of months there where you've got to be able to get yourself into victory lane or have some good top 5s, top 10s. So, I think their mindset is obviously trying to win the race, be respectful of the drivers that are in the chase. But they're out here for a reason. They're out here to win. And so, I don't think we're going to see anybody just try to play it safe and casually get around the track. I don't know, Dustin. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you got to be respectful, but at the same time, if you're here to win, you're here to race. You're not going to roll over and let anybody just take it. But on the other hand, champions are made, and these guys got to make it for themselves, no matter what everybody else is doing around them. So it's going to be exciting to see, and these guys, all these guys are willing to do what it takes to win this championship. So. You're just going to have to deal with what comes to you over the course of this race, and whoever comes out on top is going to be our champion. It's going to be definitely exciting to see the different races go on between these 3 guys competing.
Did you bring up?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you do bring up a good point about the next season we'll be running. It is a grueling season. It's as long as the real NASCAR season. So these guys might be trying to get into a feel for this race. We're going to have a bit of a break in between this last race and the start of our official season with Daytona. So, it's definitely the game's going to change after this race. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys deal with that.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to throw out there real quick is, we heard you and Dustin talk about it in the race previously where I was running. But there's one dominant shop in here, and as a car owner, I mean, you look at CRC, and they just have dominant cars. And not to say that these other guys don't, but they seem to run consistent. And if there's one team that you got to worry about out there, it is CRC. I mean, we've seen some teams form up here in the past, but we haven't seen them be as effective as CRC. I mean, we got CRC running second and 5th right now. So, and when Brian wins, taking up the lead spot or the last spot there, but they run good cars.
Yeah, you actually mentioned that. We totally missed the lead change there. Nate LaFleur is sitting in first place right now. James Skelton has fallen off a little bit. So that that speaks to the team. They're always up fighting for a win every single week. These guys are matched. They work really well together. And they know each other in the real world. So I think having that communication between them every week, they have those practice sessions every week, it really shows what kind of that team atmosphere can do for your race. And I'm excited to see if anybody else can kind of develop their own team, and we can see some competition between them next season.
Yeah, some of these guys are really got to step up their game. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with you. I do think that we need some alliances. We've got a lot of good guys that race individually, not particularly with any team or not, but I'd definitely like to see a couple teams join up. And I'm not sure yet, but I've been talking maybe to a few guys that forming a team underneath my motorsports, and just a good group of guys that race and work well together, and seeing how we'll do. But it's real interesting. You talk about CRC and what they do. Those guys are pretty much up front every week, and these guys that aren't having as great as years. We talked about some of these other guys. I think it's going to be a different year next year. We're going to have some new guys show up, and there's going to be a lot more talent out here to help these guys that are predominantly running up front for sure.
Well, maybe in that same breath, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to what your thoughts are about one team that we used to talk about all the time. That was the dominant team, and that was High Rev. We've seen Brent Cowboy Rogers. We've seen Mike Abbott. I think we even seen yourself a little bit there in High Rev, Dustin. They were a dominant force, and now we've seen them really fall off.
Yeah, it's tough these days, man. It's hard to get, especially, speaking for myself. I mean, you're not in the seat as much as you used to be, and these guys, really the communication, is not as close as it used to be. But these guys still got talent. It's like riding a bicycle. I mean, you get on it, you can do it or you can't do it, and these guys definitely can do it. Everybody in this field. So, I look next year to see a couple maybe alliances get together and try to charge on these CRC guys. As well as these guys that are individuals out here that don't necessarily have a team to themselves, stepping up and definitely making a charge for that team next year.
Ooh, we got some smoke up there. I think we got a car. Definitely got some smoke on the track. We got a car on the inside there. Looks like that is the
CRC car, Brian Wynn.
Yeah, he did ask me to get that car on camera before he put the damage on it. It looks like I did do that for him, and yeah, he's going into the pits, going to get that thing banged out and get back on there.
And did you notice we have a new leader as well? And somebody knocking on the door in second, wanting that first place spot as well. As we see Nelson take that second position, and John Fershing Jr. following in tow in third. So moving on and up, and we're seeing some of the faster cars on a short run make their way back and fall back a little bit into the field.
Yeah, I think the story right now is how the 86 went from being, super fast right at the beginning there to just falling off, now dropping into, looks like Keith Haney is going to put a pass on him there for the 5th position. And I think that's, maybe he just used his tires up, maybe he ran too hard off the beginning, and now it's becoming a management game. Now I got to figure out what I got to do to keep up with John, man, because right now he needs to be on pace with John, and Nelson is just is really battling for that second place position as well. So I think things are going to have to be reevaluated by all these guys 20 laps in.
Well, Nelson's there at Calvin's door, and he looks like he's going to take that first P1 here. Calvin with a good run out of 2.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're the two guys chasing down John this week, like Nelson is, you got to lead a lap. You've got to get those bonus points, and you've got to keep him from leading one too. So it looks like Nelson's going to pull it off here and lead one. So that's going to be a good pick of a point there. These bonus points are going to be definitely key here tonight. Looks like, because these guys, all 3 of these guys, are pretty fast tonight.
And you could really tell Nelson just went in that corner too fast, and the car started pushing up. Loses that position to Ellison, and now John Fershing Jr. looking to take that second spot.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting pretty close to green flag pit stops. These guys have done a pretty good job here tonight, keeping the cautions away. And for right now, it's going to be a tale of who can get on and off pit road, it looks like, for now. So it's going to be exciting to see as green flag pit stops are coming up here in just a few. We'll see how this thing shakes out and who's going to be able to get on and off.
What's going to be interesting is to see how these guys handle that that entry road. They got to take that entry road through 3 and 4. So we'll see if these guys remember they can't just dive in.
Yeah, and that always proves interesting, you know. But these guys, this isn't their first time they've been here, not their first rodeo. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. The only issue is maybe a little bit to your point, Mike, is when you're on that entry, that road going into pit road there. But we've seen in the past a lot of guys take it a little bit fast, put those right sides in that grass, and once they do, it gets really squirrely.
We got a car dropping in, and he's gonna just miss that entrance. But I think he would have got a black flag anyways. So.
Yeah, that was the 954 of Keith Haney there.
So I think we're going to see these guys as we do jump down onto that pit road.
And Nelson definitely under a different strategy here. Gonna keep it out there and see if he can get a little advantage on these guys. Tires or no tires?
I think we're taking tires. I think we're taking 4 tires.
I think we're gonna see Calvin only take 2. That's my guess.
I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how they do here.
Every time you think you're going to do something, you get tricked. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. He's a tricky little guy.
Right side's up on all 4 cars here. And looks like we're staying for lefts. Oh, John Fershing takes 2. He's out.
There you go. Somebody was going to gamble.
Like I said, it's good to gamble early. John definitely wants to lead a lap, so this could be a pretty good chance for him to do that. So we'll see how this thing cycles through, and definitely got some good fuel mileage out of that 922 tonight. So, you know, he could stay out just that little bit longer. I don't know how far guys pushed it tonight, but you know, that's going to help over a long run, especially if we're having no cautions here tonight.
I think that's the second time the 2 car has been in the pits. Might be serving a penalty there.
And the 922 of Nelson has taken his 4 tires, and
yep.
I think he's serving a penalty.
It comes down to that pit entrance, man. You got to make sure that you get in and off cleanly, as both these guys are going to get off at the same time here. I wonder if the 2 car is going to back down. They can't both. There you go. The 2 car does.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Nelson. He's probably gonna need to look for a caution here to reset the field, but he's gonna see how it plays out.
Yeah, that has James Skelton in first place after it cycles through. He did take 2 tires as well, so we have first 2 guys running the same strategy, and then everyone on back took 4 tires. So it'll be interesting to see if James can manage those tires better during this run. Like, he fell off so quickly on that last run, so we'll see how he does here.
I think it's going to be tough. That 28 took 4, and you know, tires are pretty key here. So this guy's hopefully be able to manage this and get through this run. But 28 and all the guys that took 4 are going to be pretty quick here.
Yeah, just comparing their laps times, James Skelton ran to 29.5 on that last lap. Calvin was 0.3 quicker at a 29.2. So yeah, it shows the difference in tires here. We'll see how he can manage it, but you know, the gap between first and second right now is 3.2 seconds. So, you know, you maintain that pace. You're talking about 10 laps before you're really dealing with that second place car. So, we'll see how it goes.
So I'm just curious if you guys have heard of any manufacturer changes for the next year coming up. You know, this is our last race, and sometimes we do have drivers, and you know, Dustin, you kind of talked about it too, and Mike, you did as well. But the you know, the teams and forming up and stuff like that. I'm just curious if any of you have heard of any manufacturer changes for the new year.
I have not.
Yeah, I definitely hadn't heard of any manufacturer changes. Not saying that it won't happen though. You know, during the off season, we'll have a good little bit of things going on. So we'll have to see if we'll have some alliances come up, or guys you know, running under the same banner, or you know, trying to team up and really work. Because I'm telling you, when you get to Daytona, first race of the season, you're going to want some friends. So hopefully we'll see some guys work together pretty well, and get some alliances set up, and definitely try to, like you said, chase after these guys that are working well together for sure.
Yeah, because James is really, James runs that Toyota. There isn't a lot of Toyotas out in the field. We've definitely got a lot of Chevrolets and a lot of Fords out there, but the Toyota camp, if you will, is a little bit on the smaller side. So.
So Calvin has closed that gap. It's down to 1.9 seconds from that 3.5 that we just talked about. Seems like he is making some pretty quick closing times here. So we'll see how these things go in the next 2 to 3 laps. But I think the way that Calvin is driving right now and the speed difference, I don't think James is going to put up much of a fight when he catches him. Now, John Fershing, being in third position, I think we'll see a lot more of a fight between those two drivers.
Yeah, you're right. But I tell you, one key thing for James here is laps keep clicking off is that he leads as much as possible.
Yeah.
He wants to be the guy to lead to get that extra point. He was on the pole, so he gets those points. And for a win, for him to pick up a win here tonight, and John maybe have just a little bit of trouble, you never know, man. He can come away and steal this thing. So it's really exciting to know over the course of this race it's going to come down to the last lap.
Well, if James can stay out there, we're talking, he got a bonus point for leading a lap. I don't believe John has got that bonus point yet. He could, potentially get a bonus point for leading the most laps. Right now, he has led the most laps at 18. He wins the race, he gets 3 bonus points for that. So, and then there's a completion bonus, but John would get that as well. So 3, 4, 5, 5 points that could be, huge, as we get down to the closing laps of this race.
It's interesting to see James trying to tuck in behind that 4. That lap car, or soon to be a lap car in front of him, just trying to get a little bit extra speed on both the front stretch and the back stretch.
We know what kind of fuel mileage that 4 gets, so he's definitely picked the right one to follow. Sometimes I think he runs a 4-cylinder, so we'll have to see next year if that's going to be a rule change where we make the guys run a V8 or not. So
or a hybrid.
Calvin is definitely, he's got that leader in his sights now. He's going to look to get underneath the 4 car as quickly as he can here as well. I don't think we'll see much fighting from the 4 car being a lap down.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but the 2 just came through the backstretch, through the grass. I believe that was him, either that or 959. But that was a scary moment there for a second.
I was going to say the 28, as we were riding on board there, did tag the wall entering turn 3, I believe. Just trying to get as much room as he can to dive in that corner. He did scratch the wall a little bit there. No damage done, though.
Yeah, and I didn't hear any of the drivers really talk about the car being loose. So I'm kind of curious with what went on there in the 2 car. But a lot of the guys were saying that the track was pretty much optimal conditions this evening.
So what are you guys looking forward to going into next season? We are replicating the schedule from NASCAR. We are running. We will explain this more next year as we get into broadcasting next year. But we're going to run 3 individual seasons as well as the overall championship season. But what are you guys looking forward to the most with that new schedule?
I'm personally waiting to see who's going to hang in there. I mean, it's geared a little bit different than these guys are used to. With a shorter season, I mean, there's a little bit less emphasis on the regular season versus the chase. These guys are going to have a whole different mindset going into this. And I think you guys touched on it a little bit earlier too. I don't think this is something that you can do by yourself. And I know it's one guy, one car out there, but you've got to have some friends along the way somewhere. Somebody to work with you at some of these super speedways is going to be interesting. And I also think you got to look out for those ringers, that come in on these road courses. They might not run the best on the ovals, but we got some really good road racers out here too.
Well, that's you bring up a good point, because we're going to be going to a win and you're in scenario. So you get a win, you're basically guaranteed to be running that knockout chase format at the end of the season. So it really changes the dynamic of the whole entire season.
Yeah, I mean, I would completely agree. I mean, it's one of those things that we're wanting to see the guys that are putting their cars in victory lane in the chase, and the sanctioning body here is really, and going to that new format is really putting the emphasis on that. And so it's good to run top 5, top 10 every week, but that doesn't guarantee you a spot in the dance. So you want to put that car in victory lane any chance you can.
With that 28 was able to complete that pass on the 86, so we do have a new leader. Right now, James Skelton has led 28 laps. Kelvin is going to be turning his 8th lap right here. And we should be, about, 10-15 laps away from another green flag stop, so John Fershing Jr. is still 2.7 seconds behind James Skelton, so James is doing really what he can to give himself a shot here. I think we're going to see him take 4 tires, though, next time by. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, and I think that was one thing I really wanted to point out is we're seeing James do a lot better on this second set of tires here. He's able to, he's only lost 1 position during this whole second section here, but and we did notice that John only took 2, so he might think about not doing that next time around.
Yeah, and I think it also paid off that the 86 kind of short pitted there a little bit. We'll see how it plays out, but definitely his ability to get out front and take 2 definitely worked out better over this run, because it took Calvin running his stuff off to catch him, and they about leveled out. Last lap, Calvin ran a 6:10 to James's 6:15. So I mean, guys are pretty close, and it was a smart call by the 86 crew to get him out front and lead them extra laps. It's definitely going to pay off here as we get closer to the end.
I think if I'm Nelson Rivera, I'm praying for a caution right now, being almost 19 seconds back there. He's hurting.
Yeah, that penalty did definitely hurt him, but he is still on the lead lap. 18 seconds behind. Looks like he's in good shape to stay on that lead lap, but you're right. He really needs a caution to come out if he's going to have any shot at this championship.
And I kind of wonder if that was nerves. Is that the pressure of this race on him and his team? I mean, it does wear on you a little bit. I mean, it is, sim racing, but it's one of those things that, when you're trying to compete for a championship and it comes down to one race, I mean, you put it all on the line, and if you make one little mistake, it can really throw the things out of whack.
John Fershing Jr. is on pit road, getting his tires right now. Right sides are up. Let's see if he sticks around for 4. He does, for sure here. I'm assuming we're going to see some other drivers come in here too. Looks like the 15 maybe short pit a little bit. Yeah, pit lane is busy now. We got the 28 and the 86 both entering the box. It'll be interesting to see if the 28 elects 2 tires this time. He doesn't. He takes 4 tires. Going to stick with the same strategy as last time. Skelton is going to take 4 as well. 28 is pulling out. Gets the race off of pit road there. Followed by Nate LaFleur as well.
And Nelson is now our new leader, but he's yet to pit. So, trying to make the most of it. He's probably running that vehicle about as low on fuel as he can get, and trying to make the most of it.
Yeah, and speaking of low of fuel, I just heard over the radio that the 67 of Andrew Packer ran out. He's on pit road now, but run out coming down backstretch.
Yeah, you can hear that car is turned off as he's going to coast it into his pit box. He can't overshoot it. Looks like he did. So that sucks. He's going to have to tow, and there might be a glitch there. He might not be able to do that. I have seen that you're in your box. Sometimes it doesn't let you tow because it thinks you're in your box. But you will not get service, and considering there's no gas, you might not be able to back it up.
Well, the 922 Nelson doesn't speed down pit road this time, and he gets 4, and he's headed back out. So he tried to make the most of it, but I think he's got the leaders coming up on him soon, or did they already pass him?
Looks like
They're going to be coming to him.
Yeah.
Actually, they have already passed him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's back in 6th already.
Nelson, I have him being in 10th right now.
Yeah, he keeps dropping.
10-4. So Kelvin Elson's back on the lead, in the lead position. He's got a 3.4 second gap. That's pretty surprising considering the guys left pretty close to each other. So I'm not sure if he just got up to speed a lot quicker than James or if there was an issue getting off pit road. But James is sitting right now in 2nd place with 3.47 seconds back from that. Nate LaFleur, John Furshing, and William Long following those positions.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that Kelvin's got the 8 in front of him of Brent Rogers, and Brent Rogers is that last car on the lead lap here. Brent's going to try to get everything he can out of that car to get out in front as far as he can in front of Kelvin in the 28.
So we're just about halfway through this race. No cautions. Does that surprise you guys?
Not really. Not to me tonight. I think these guys, they kind of know. They kind of been talking about it over the couple weeks we've been under break that, they're going to really work on, probably, trying to settle in and just be patient here. And a lot of these guys have done a good job tonight. So, not really surprised. The car count's down tonight, so that probably helps out a whole bunch. So we'll see how these guys finish out this race. We'll start talking about cautions, and it may start bringing them up. So just a good job by all these guys, and this whole year with everybody's been really fun.
Yeah, this is technically our year anniversary now, right? This is our first. This race will be our first our last race of the 3rd series, but our first complete year as a league. And hey, man, I'm happy with the results. I'm happy with the turnout. Yes, you're right. The car turnout tonight is a little bit lower, but that's to be expected considering we had a 2-week break due to the iRacing errors and such. So, with that said, I'm still happy with 17 drivers here tonight, and I think overall all 3 series were excellent. And I'm really looking forward to next season, and I know a bunch of the guys are really looking forward to having that full NASCAR simulation experience. We can talk a little bit more about that. We're going to be running 50% races, so all the races will be based on the real world races, but they'll be at a 50% distance. So they'll be a little bit longer than what we've been running last season. We're going to be moving, I believe, obviously we still have to finalize the rule package, but I believe we're going to be moving to a default weather structure, which is going to make things a little bit more challenging for these guys. We'll also probably talk about rubber settings and on getting that track rubbered up a little bit more than it is at the start of these races. So, hey, I'm excited about this stuff all around. How about you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think one of the things that you keyed in on there is the realistic weather. We've traditionally ran a cooler temperature just to make the racing a little bit faster, a little bit tighter. But I think the realistic weather is what's going to be the determining factor there, because these cars in some serious heat at some of these locations. The car does get loose, and it's a completely different experience getting around the track, which I think is interesting because not all of these drivers are used to. I mean, a lot of these, with the fixed setup and the tracks that we go to, I think it's going to add a whole new dynamic that they haven't seen or haven't dealt with on a regular basis before.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's at least 4 or 5 tracks on the schedule next year that at default weather, it's going to become a race the track scenario. And I think it's really gonna change things and make guys think a lot harder about the position they're gonna put themselves in. And we've talked about what we're gonna do for things like resets, whether we're gonna take away the only reset or if we're gonna put a cap on incident points. But there's a lot of things coming that could change the dynamic of the season.
Yeah, I know we talked about the reset thing. It's been an issue of, well, I won't say an issue, but it's been a topic of controversy in the past. We've obviously tried to reduce them. I mean, we're expecting if you're going to run in the Pro Series, there shouldn't be a handful of, quick repairs to hand out. So, obviously, and we've done a lot to deal with that, going down to just one. But, we might see, depending on the field size, maybe go back down to 0.
It's definitely an option that we're looking at. So, in the off season, all the admins are going to get together and we're going to put together the best rule package we can. That's going to create hopefully the most authentic experience for our racers as well as an entertaining experience for our viewers. So that's really the goal of NAVSCAR, and I'm excited to see what we can come up with.
Was Andrew Packer able to get his car going?
I believe I did see him pull off of pit road. Let's take a look.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah. John Frisching right now, he's got a bunch of cars around him. Nate LaFleur is battling for position as well as Will Long. This is probably the closest battle on the track. 3 cars within, 0.3 seconds of each other, racing real hard here for that 3rd position.
Yeah, and that's a name we haven't talked about here recently is Will Long. Will Long's really been stepping up his game here lately. He's been able to, get that 911 Buffalo Wild Wings car up in the top 5, top 10 as we see Andrew Packer into the wall in front of these guys or next to these guys. So that made it a little interesting.
Yeah, you never like to see that when you're racing for position. But Andrew's probably just doing his best to stay out of the way and did a pretty good job there as well.
I don't see a whole lot of damage on Andrew's car either, so maybe we just got into it and scraped the sides a little bit, put a Homestead stripe on it, if you will, and keeps on trucking.
Yeah, his speed's still relative to the cars in front of him, so I don't think he's in any bad shape here.
I am curious. I wanted to hear a little bit more out of Dustin in this shop he's thinking about getting going here. I really excited to be honest with you about it, because I think it adds a whole new dynamic to this. I mean, it's one thing to race; it's another thing to broadcast it. But to be an owner and see these cars out here, your cars running. What's going on for the next season with that, Dustin?
We just still got some things in the plan. I got a few drivers I'm, thinking about that I've seen work well together over the years that, may not be somebody's ideal teammates. You might not think right away, but definitely, going to talk to some guys over the off season and see if we can get them flying under the DPR banner. So we'll see how that works out. And like I said, it does add a dynamic to it. And as well as you ran at Daytona, it kind of got me excited. Guys are doing a pretty good job at the shop when the car does, knock the dust off of it. We'll see how that works out, and definitely got a couple guys that I'm interested in. So we'll see how they feel about it, and go from there.
Yeah, it's always a cool feeling to see your cars out on the track. Definitely in the real world, and even in to a lesser extent in a virtual world, it can be just as rewarding. So.
I gotta ask though, because some of these guys are, some of the benefits in the real world of running in a shop like that is, you have resources available to you that may or may not be available in other shops, and so have you, I know some of these guys run some custom stuff, and what are you thinking in regards to making your shop unique? Anything in the software hardware realm, or is it anything still, a possibility?
Be honest with you, kind of, been thinking, we want to build a powerhouse to go up against CRC. Those guys at CRC have been really strong, and they, if I could have John Fershing under my banner, that'd be awesome. But I don't think that's possible. So, him being a great driver, and his son Nate does a really, really, really good job. It's just adding that dynamic to it, being able to, work with guys, as well as having that maybe opportunity to make a race appearance once or twice during the season, or who knows what the plans might be for next year. So, just being out there and being able to call somebody under your, racing under your banner is just something that I really find to make it even more realistic for these guys, so they feel like they really have something to drive for, and it's not just showing up on Wednesday night to, sit behind the wheel.
Well, let's, just before we go back into Green Flag pit stops here, let's talk about our touring series, man. You talk about bringing a realistic experience and touring and wrenching on your cars. We're starting up our new touring season this Sunday. Can you speak on that a little bit?
The last couple of weeks we've been working on a couple of races. The guys getting the feel with the super late model. We'll be traveling to a track near you. It's kind of an exciting deal. It's going to be 150 laps at each place. And then at the end of the season, we're possibly going to do, working on trying to do a broadcast for a couple of these races. So really looking forward to getting the car count up and getting guys excited. The ones that have been racing with us here tonight, the last couple nights, have really come out and done a great job, especially some of them not having the car that long. But it really gets you kind of excited, getting the feel, getting the Saturday night feel, if you would, to the type of racing that really goes on in real life. So I'm really excited about it, and I know Jamie's done pretty well at it as well.
Yeah,
I really like the super late model. I mean, it's a new car to me. It's a great car to drive.
I think overall it's a pretty diverse schedule too. There's lots of different fields, different tracks. Obviously, it's short track and it kind of centers around that environment. But I think a lot of these guys are gonna have fun wrenching their stuff and really tuning their cars. So, and that is open to anybody, and they can invite guys that they know. We want a certain caliber of racer. But it is open to friends and family. The password was there. It's touring, and you can find that on Sunday nights under the hosted session. If you want more information about it, get in contact with any of us. Dustin, obviously, he's really passionate about it. So, speaking with him about it and getting more information might be a great idea.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. Like I said, we want to kind of do a Saturday night deal as it looks like we're cycling through Green Flag pit stops. Don't want to get too far out of the way here, but definitely. It's going to be a fun thing on Sunday nights for the guys to have a short track feel. We just wanted to kind of change it up for a season, see how that worked, and see how much interest we had. But we've had a bunch of guys never touched the car before and then come out, and they really enjoy how the car's got the power to handle and ratio. So looking forward to how the season works out. And maybe, Mike, we can get you out there behind the wheel a couple times. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah, here's hoping. I have been putting together some cheat sheets for guys that want to learn how to tune, and what kind of, how to translate feel of the car, looseness, tightness, plowing in, not turning off, stuff like that, and what it means, and what kind of adjustments you want to make on a car to kind of combat that. So we'll put some of that stuff together and maybe make it available on the website for those guys that don't have a ton of experience tuning and not sure where to start when it comes to fixing loose or tight cars or no drive off and stuff like that. There'll be a lot of opportunity to learn a little bit about just overall tuning in general.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to have. Like I said, we kind of got away from the race here, but I tell you what, Allison stretched his lead out to a 6.5-second lead here over Will Long. And we've seen, Fershing, he's Mr. Consistent. He's up there. He's ahead of James right now, and that's what it's going to take to win this championship. So right now, John Fershing doing everything he needs to do to close this thing out with only 46 laps here to go.
Yeah, right now he's just thinking just that. Like, all I have to do to win this championship is keep James behind me, and so far he's doing it. So far, it's exactly what he needs to do with 45 laps to go. It's looking pretty good for him. He's just got to make sure he keeps that car clean, and he's done a great job all night keeping that car out of trouble. So, he's looking like he's sitting in a real good position.
Well, how about that third place car of Craig Sykes, that 905 BGR Racing machine? Yeah, great showing for him this evening.
Yeah, it's good seeing him up in that top 3 position. We've seen him up there before, but I'd love to get him in here for a post-race interview. So he's looking, hopefully gain a little bit more position up to Will Long. Will Long is a little bit faster right now, but these guys are all pretty close when it comes to times.
Yeah, just speaking on that, it's going to be after this race, a lot of these guys are going to lose that 9, so it's going to be probably a good thing for them. They're going to be excited to get that rookie stripe off going into next season, especially with the changes that we're making for the full season. It's going to be good, and then we're going to add quite a few, I think. Hopefully we'll get a couple more guys in here and definitely get new faces and just continue to grow the sport.
Yeah, we've had a new driver hold for the last, I guess it's been over a month now with the delays. So, we're looking forward to, we've got an application list, I think like 10, 15 drivers right now looking to, participate with us. So we'll be looking forward to getting in touch with those guys and maybe getting them in some preseason races. And yeah, it'll be a big deal here when we drop some of these 9s. It's always fun when we can say, welcome to the league officially, drop that 9, you're good to go, and now it's your turn to kind of develop these new guys. So it's an exciting time transitioning from season to season, and we're looking forward to doing that over the next couple of weeks.
Mike, we hadn't talked much about it, and maybe this is something we can talk about next year, but, actually having a Rookie of the Year deal, because this year's rookie class has been outstanding. I think it's definitely been one of the best, that we've had for sure. But as far as the caliber of driver and the amount of guys that are running or capable of running up front every week, it's been pretty awesome. So it's good to see, and I hope next year brings just as many. Yeah,
that's a great idea, actually. I don't know why we didn't think about that earlier, but Rookie of the Year. Even Driver of the Year. Maybe we can think up some different categories we can actually offer rewards to. That's a pretty great idea, man.
Yeah, that is outstanding. And you're right, Dustin. The rookie class this year has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm just curious. If I thought about it, maybe if I could maybe possibly run for Rookie of the Year next year. No, I don't know.
I don't think that's possible.
You'll always be a rookie, buddy.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah, no worries. 38 laps to go. Calvin Allison's still got quite a bit of a comfortable lead over William Long, 4.4 seconds. We got Craig Sykes in 3rd, John Fershing 4th, James Skelton in 5th. Right now, this is the closest battle on the track with Nelson Rivera and James Skelton fighting it out for that 5th position. These guys are close in the standings. These guys could be fighting for a 2nd place position in the championship. So these guys are going to race each other real hard here right up to the end.
Yeah, for sure. And, we haven't talked much about Will Long. But I tell you what, the guy's been super fast lately. He showed up Sunday night and put it on the front row for the Super Late Model race and did a great job. Seemed like he come out of nowhere and did a great job for the whole race. And, now we see him sitting in second. He's closing that gap on the 28 little by little, but, 4 seconds is a long way, and we definitely got at least a pit stop or 2 left. So, it's just good to see him up front, doing just a great job. I also want to comment on his paint jobs. Each and every week he comes, man, he always comes with a nice-looking paint job. So, definitely does a good job there.
Yeah, it's good to see training paints back up. And since we're talking about paint jobs, let's go ahead and mention our sponsor one last time. Real Deal Graphics. Check them out. Google them Google them. You can find them on Facebook. Just go ahead and send them a message. You want a unique paint job? You want something a little bit different than what everybody else has? They'll hit you up. It could be, speaking as a guy who does paints, man, it could be time consuming. You can spend a lot of time trying to make a good looking paint job, and some people just, they don't have the time or they don't have the knowledge to do that. But now you have yourself a way to go and get yourself a great paint. $25, he'll get you a paint, and you'll be looking good for your next race. Check them out, Real Deal Graphics.
Yeah, they should. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I was just going to say Mark does a really good job. He's newer to the league and stuff, but I tell you what, the man does a pretty good job of painting these cars. And I tell you what, people might think $25 might be a lot of money for a paint, but I tell you what, every paint I've seen him do is well worth the money. So definitely check him out for sure.
Yeah, as a guy who put time in doing paints for myself and for you guys, man, $25 is a steal for the amount of hours that goes into one of these paints. I don't think I could sell a paint for $25. So that's a great value for these guys. You want something a little bit different? Go check them out for sure.
Yeah, and especially as we were talking about the teams as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a couple of them.
And he's excited to be running with us next season. I think we're going to see him on the track with us, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sponsors a couple more races and we do some giveaways on paints as well. So I look forward to our relationship with him and seeing what we can do in the future. Craig Sykes is on pit road. Looks like he's going to do not quite his final pit stop. Looks like 32 laps to go. I don't think he can make it on this pit stop alone. That could...
Also, while we're talking about it, can you speak on kind of the sponsorship deal for next season as far as each race and availability?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we've got our full schedule posted for next season. Right now we have placeholder sponsors, kind of like the real sponsors in the NASCAR race. We just kind of brought them over to our virtual racing as well. But every single race right now, next season, is open for sponsorship. $20 gets your logo, your information, whatever you're promoting, gets you on the race. We'll probably actually have a little bit more, in the broadcast as well. We'll have ad slides if that's what you're interested in or whatnot. But the full schedule is available on our website. Just check under Series, Pro Series, and then our schedule. It's all done up real nice right now on the website, and you can find more information or get a hold of any one of us on inquiring about a sponsorship. But $20, man, that money goes to help keep this league going. It's not a cheap thing with the web server and the iRacing costs and all the stuff that we do. So it helps us out, and we put half that money back to our racers as well. So just a little bit of prize money for our guys. So the winner of this race will get a Real Deal paint job at a $25 value. So that's awesome that we can do that for them.
Yeah, that's really impressive, actually. And to get to win the race and get a free paint job for your car, I mean, can't ask for much more than that.
What would you get, man, if you won the race? What would you get on your car? Would you be like, I'm a winner?
No, I think I'd stay away from that one, actually. I think I'd be a little bit more interested. I'd still like to, the car that I like, it's one of those retro paint schemes, and I've seen a few of them out there, but none to my liking or is a Skoll car. Do you remember that
Yeah.
old Winston Skoll car?
Yeah.
I'd like one of those.
Find me some nice pictures, man. I got to get back into to making some paints. I haven't done a good one in months, so.
Will do.
I think Jamie would definitely have on the back of his car. He definitely knows how to pick them. So
yeah. And checking in on his pick, man. He's running in 5th right now. He's not doing horrible.
Yeah, gonna break that streak.
It's not over yet, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, speaking of it, it's not over yet, and not to knock on any type of wood, but you know, it's one of those things that there always seems to be this sneaking caution at the very last tail end of the race. Homestead isn't really known for that. I mean, just because it is. I mean, there's a lot of room and cars get spread out and stuff. We even see it in regular NASCAR that there isn't a whole lot of cautions here. So, but you never know. And I think the last thing that anybody wants to see, especially if you're John Furshing Jr., is the cars bunched up again.
Oh yeah, for sure. John definitely doesn't want to see that. Sitting in 4th place right now, 2 positions ahead of who he's got to finish in front of. As we get cars coming in with 25 laps to go, I think these guys can make it. What was the fuel window? Did anybody catch it?
It's right around 25 laps. Some guys could stretch it a little bit more depending on if guys were saving or not, but definitely around 24, 25 laps.
911 of Will Long jumps into his pits. Right sides go up. I wonder if we're going to see guys take 2 tires. I bet you we see John Furshing take 2 tires this time. William Long takes 4.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure, John would have learned his.
He definitely went with 4 this time.
I'm surprised though. I thought maybe somebody would roll the dice, you know, make one last ditch effort to finish a little bit better position here.
Yeah, if you know, guys, if this thing goes green, it's going to be pretty close to the fuel window. So that's going to be another exciting thing to could play out. You know, some of these guys maybe stopped a little bit early, whether they're going to be short or not.
Boy, and John Furshing Jr. and James Skeleton are all over each other coming out of the pits and now going into 3. James with a real big push here, getting out there early out in front of John. You know, but that's kind of to be expected, I guess, from what we've seen out of James. The first couple laps with fresh tires on there, he's blazing fast. So let's see if he can keep those tires underneath him and hold off John here to finish in front of him.
Yeah, no doubt that the 86 is quick on those fresh tires for sure.
I kind of wonder if that was James's plan going into this, was to, you know, he obviously could put down a fast lap time around here, but, you know, I wonder if he knew how fast the car was going to fall off and knew that he was going to have to be dealing with this, you know, in the later laps of the run. You know, and all Kelvin really has to do is honestly just, you know, he's got that almost 5-second gap there on Will Long and almost an 8-second gap on Craig Sykes. So, you know, the battle really seems to be back there in the battle with James and John, as Nelson Rivera has, you know, done a pretty good job here running in 4th. But has he pitted yet?
Yes, he has pit.
Did he short pit?
Well, I have him as pitting 5 times where everybody else has pit 4 times, so I think he has come in. He did come in that extra time, I believe, for that penalty, so he only took 2 tires, that's why.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, you know, I mean, that's a heck of a comeback for Nelson to come back and, you know, be currently running 4th.
Right now, the cars are pretty much spread out pretty equally. We don't have anybody really battling for position at the moment. James Skelton still sitting in 6th position. He's about a second and a half, just under a second and a half behind Keith Haney. Behind him, we've got John Fershing Jr. in 7th. Jordan Beck in the 904 8th. Chris Sharp in the 924. And then Nate LaFleur rounding out the top 10. Looks like Kelvin is about to put Nate a lap down.
Nate's coming around him.
Oh, Nate's picking that lap back.
Yeah, Nate's had a really good run this evening too. You know, there's not a mark on that car. He's just been kind of running his own race. I think he's, you know, he's been caught up by the circumstances like everyone else has of just being, you know, with pit stops and fuel strategy and everything. He's just found himself back there in 10th. So
right now, Nelson Rivera in 4th place is looking to put a pass down on Craig Sykes in 3rd. He's gonna.
We hadn't talked much about it tonight, guys. But you know, we talked about the top 3 being in a battle. You know, Nelson's led laps. It doesn't look like as of right now that the 86 is going to lead the most. Looks like that'll go to Calvin Allison. So, got a pretty good chance of maybe Nelson squeaking into that 2nd spot if we don't see something change here over this next 15 laps. Nelson could pick up the 2nd spot, runner up here.
I'm going to do an on-the-fly calculation after the race while you guys are doing the post-race interviews. I'll do a little bit of math, and we'll have the final standings for at least the chase drivers available for the end of the broadcast. So stick around if you want to see how the season finished. And then we'll also have a chat with our champion if he does not finish in the top 3. So we got 14 laps to go. It's coming down to it now, boys.
yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing a couple cars retire there, so I was kind of surprised to see the 8 of Rogers bring that 8 into the garage.
Yeah, I think a couple drivers ran out of gas, maybe looking just to come back in and top up. But you're right, the 8 car has stepped out.
Feels like I'm watching a little bit of a cat and mouse game here between Calvin Allison and Nate LaFleur. I know Nate's tried to zigzag a little bit down the backstretch trying to break that draft off of Allison, but Allison just keeps pulling up closer to the rear bumper of the 81 and Nate LaFleur going into 3 here.
Yeah, Calvin's still got a 2.5 second lead over 2nd place, so I don't think he's in any hurry as long as Nate is able to keep his pace up, which, you know, it's obvious that he can, but you're right, the 28 is kind of sticking with him pretty easily here with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, it's getting a little dicey.
Yeah, now it's going to get dicey as we got a car up there for position. The 904 car?
Yep, 904.
Yeah, I definitely think that Calvin's in some type of conservative mode. He's not definitely trying to really drive it, or has been saving up to this point, because we've definitely seen Will Long catch him. So definitely Will's trying to get up there and pick up this win. But it's going to be go time here. You know, we're at 10 laps to go, so going to see Calvin either have enough or not. So it's going to be interesting. These guys are right around that fuel window, so going to be no caution. Be close on fuel for some of these guys.
Man, a caution would change the game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. And, you know, to be quite honest with you, we've got quite a few cars grouped up close to each other, so it could get a little interesting here. You know, Buckley's on those new tires. He went around LaFleur and is now looking at the leader, trying to maybe get a lap back.
Yeah, we ain't talked much about Josh Buckley tonight, but he's got the race's fastest lap. You know, definitely hadn't been in the spotlight tonight, but definitely had a fast car.
Yeah, and he's pulling up closer to Kelvin. I don't think Kelvin's gonna contend with him a whole lot. I think he's just gonna let him go, and as we do see, the two look low on the 28. Doesn't have quite enough to pass him, but as we go into one here, we'll see if he can make that lower line stick.
Yeah, Calvin's up to a 4.2 second lead over second place, so I definitely don't think he's going to be racing the 2 here. He's going to let him on by.
Yeah, Kelvin takes the high side. Buckley swings out in front of him, and going into 3, and Calvin's just kind of continuing to run that high line, which is we haven't seen too many people do this evening.
Nate LaFleur is running for position here with the 904 of Jordan Beck. As he gets underneath him here, is going to make that pass.
I am kind of confused at that
crossover move, and these guys are running pretty hard here for that 7th position.
Well, I guess what I don't understand is why is Kelvin running? I mean, he is literally on the wall in the corners, and I'm not really sure why he moves so far up the track.
He might just be running the high line.
It's definitely not the fast line.
Well, for him, I know he was just a couple laps ago was only 2 seconds ahead of Will Long, and now he's jumped up to a 4.2 seconds. So he realizes he's going to try to.
Yeah, he's running a pretty quick line. He ran a 30.3, which is pretty steady amongst everybody. It's among the fastest laps there is. Craig Sykes just ran a 29.7. I don't think he's in any hurry, man. He's got a 4.5 second gap with 4 laps to go. He's just wanting to get around the track here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, that high line is definitely an option. Real World's Homestead, as he bounces it off the wall. He's got to be a little bit more careful than that, I think.
And that's what I was talking about. You know, to your point, Mike, we've seen Casey Kane run that high line at Homestead a lot this the last time around, and made it work up there. But you know, there's the marbles up there as well. So I mean, because he's the only car that's running it. That's, I mean, he might be trying to get a lane worked in up there, but it didn't really work out for him in that last 3 and 4.
And we're down to 2 to go here, and still looks like James has pulled away a little bit from John, but they're sitting 5th and 6th, and it's just not going to be enough for James to take over this points championship. So looks like John's going to wrap it up here if he can finish these next 2 laps.
And how many points did John have on him?
He had 12 points on him.
Yeah, you know, James definitely put in a good effort tonight. But to your point, you know, it's not going to be enough.
And there's the checkered flag. And the win's going to go to the 28 of Calvin Allison, 2nd place William Long, 3rd place Nelson Rivera, 4th place Keith Henney, and 5th James Skelton. What a a crazy finish to the season. We went caution free at Homestead. Pretty good race all around. A lot of great racing from all the drivers involved. Let's see if we can get some post-race interviews down, as the 28 looks like he's going to collect his checkered flag after possibly burning up the tires as he turns around here. Let's pull him down, and I'll let you guys interview him while I try and do some calculations to see if I can get the chase standings.
Calvin Allison, Dustin Phillips here in the booth, man. Well, you showed up and put it on them again, man. Good job, and this closes out the season. And won't really up there for the battle for the championship because missing a few races, but did an excellent job all year. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was a kind of race I like to run. I like these long green flag runs. It's relaxing. Once you get a pace set, you can just keep hitting your marks.
Did James Skelton worry a little bit? I mean, he classed the field in qualifying. He laid down a heck of a lap.
Yeah, I was pretty worried, but I was pretty confident he took 2 tires the first stop. And I figured that'd be his downfall, and I'm assuming that I was right because I gapped him and John pretty bad when they got on 2 tires.
Yeah, he really struggled with it, but the other thing I was going to ask you about is, towards the end of the race there, you definitely running that high line, and that made things a little bit interesting there in 3 and 4 as we seen you scrape the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I started getting bored. I wanted to see if there's any speed up there. And figured I had a big enough lead where I could just mess around. Planning for next year.
Well, good deal. Well, congratulations on the win. I don't know, Dustin, you got anything else for him?
No, just good job, man. Looking forward to seeing you next year. We're having a full season, and hopefully we're definitely going to probably see you pick up a couple more wins because I think you've won the most this season. So good job, and like I said, it's going to be exciting to see you out there next year and whatever you have going on.
Yeah, really. You're in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. I appreciate you guys putting the league on and doing the broadcast. It's pretty awesome.
Well, congratulations on the win, man. And hey, we'll a little bit of a break before we start out with Daytona, but looking forward to seeing what you can do next season for sure.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's bring down second place finisher William Long. William, second place, buddy. Long race, no cautions. Tell us about your race, man.
I was just looking to finish the season pretty good. We did well qualifying and practice, and looked like we were going to do good in the long run. So I was just surprised that a lot of the top contenders just fell off, and we were able to stay in the top 5.
Yeah, what was your pit strategy going in tonight? We've seen some guys go with 2 and 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, you went with 4 every time, didn't you?
Yeah, we went with 4, and just seemed like we were better on the long haul, and hoping it would stay caution-free, and it did, and it helped us out really good.
Yeah, it was good to see the Buffalo Wild Wings car up there, trying to contend for a win. So, you guys, you must have put some time in the shop, time out on the track to make that happen. Did you do anything special going into tonight's race to make that happen?
Yeah, well, different paint scheme kind of help, and we just want to carry, not having a good year this year, and missing a lot of the races, and just wanted to finish the year good, and hey, it worked out, and we did do a lot of testing this week, and it helped out.
Next season we're running a full schedule. We're also got a win in your in format. Are you looking forward to that for next year?
Yeah, we are, and that was the main point of this race coming in. Being the last race of the season is just to have a good showing and have a good run, and look forward to next year.
Cool. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. We got a little bit of a break in between the 2 seasons, but we're looking forward to seeing what you can do at Daytona. So we'll definitely talk to you again.
All right, thanks a lot, and thanks for y'all support and broadcasting, and thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. We enjoy just as much as you guys enjoy racing, so we'll keep it up for sure.
All righty.
All right, let's bring in our third place, Nelson Rivera. Nelson, third place finish, man. You were strong. Most of the race, you led a bunch of laps, and was able to secure that third place finish. You did finish in front of both drivers that were actually ahead of you in the championship, so you did close some gaps, I believe. But tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, first off, I want to thank you guys for excellent broadcast, excellent season. It's my first full season, and I enjoyed myself. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a good night. I thought, I kind of felt it at the start there. I said maybe this could be the night where I pull off my first NAVSCAR win, and then I shot myself in the foot with a 15-second pit road penalty for unsafe entry. Basically felt like mowing a little grass instead of racing, and spend the entire, the remaining 100 laps in catch-up mode. And considering that happened, pretty lucky to finish where I did.
Yeah, we did notice you sitting on pit road a little bit longer than you should after changing those 4 tires, and we figured it was something along the lines of that. But hey, man, you were able to recover it and finish in third, which is definitely respectable after getting the black flag, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was lucky. I was hoping for a yellow there to tighten things up. That would have made it interesting. I think we had something for Calvin if that would have happened, but dominating performance by Calvin, great run by William. Not sure how he got to second, but he must have pulled a great strategy. Probably, and I started hearing chatter over the radio how everyone was like the handling on the car with just 2 right sides, and I decided to try it with 50 to go, and I kept on this same strategy with 25 to go on the final stop, and so I got 50 laps out of my left sides, and probably could have gotten more. Who knows?
So you took right side tires on both those second last and last stops?
Yeah, and the car was just as fast as the pit stop before and the pit stop before that.
Well, that's impressive, man. We definitely saw that you took that 2-tire stop and saw that it it helped you get up into that position, and it paid out for you. It was a good strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things too that we had seen, and you kind of talked about it a little bit there, Nelson, was before you had that pit road incident. I mean, you were fast. I mean, you were moving up through the field and laying some laps down. So we had talked about it too, about there being a caution, but Homestead isn't really known for its caution heavy, being a heavy caution track. So, but you definitely had something for him when you were there.
Yeah, that's like I said before. It felt like tonight was going to be my night, and then when I had that 15-second penalty, and like you mentioned, the race right from the start had a green flag feel to it. So I knew that with 15 seconds I was going to be in trouble. The only way I was going to win it was if any of the leaders had trouble, and obviously Calvin ran a flawless race, so that was my only chance if the leaders would have the same type of problem that I did. But yeah, that's why that 15-second penalty, that thing really stung, because I kind of figured it was going to go green the entire race.
Well, that finishes off our season, man, and we're going into next year a full schedule, winning you're in knockout chase format. What do you think about that? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I've been hearing some rumors and some changes for next year, and I'm excited. Can't wait to see what they are.
Yeah, we'll definitely have more information. All the admins are going to get together next week, and we'll be able to finalize our rule package. But the schedule is posted. It looks great, and I'm excited to see. I'm excited to get it underway in Daytona. It should be fun. Anything to add, Dustin, Jamie?
Well, I think it's great momentum for you going into next season with this third place finish, and then knowing you can get the speed out of the car that you're looking for. So look forward to watching you race next year.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
And thanks again for racing, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, I've got the calculations. I'm going to bring that into the broadcast. I apologize, it's not as fancy looking. It's my Excel spreadsheet, but they get the job done. Let's take a look at it. All right, so you can take a look. First place, John Fershing, 180 points. James Skelton was able to close the gap a little bit, finishing just 9 points behind first place. Nelson Rivera finishes in third, just 2 points back from second place. Calvin Allison, Nate LaFleur, Keith Haney, Brian Wynn, Chris Sharp, Josh Buckley, Kevin Cochran, Keg Seitz, Raymond Edge, and Trent Potter rounding out the rest of the field. Let's go ahead and bring in John Fershing and talk to our champion. Oh, I think he left. He's not in the team speak. He just disconnected. So we'll just give him congratulations on a championship. We'll get his thoughts and probably post a blog post in the next coming days. But hey, man, you, Dustin, Jamie, buddy, these guys, all these racers did a great job this season. I'm excited that we got it in the books, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's it was a great season. I mean, we've seen the controversy, we've seen the emotions run a little bit high when we were getting close to getting into the chase. You know, that same pressure you see in real life was definitely there leading up to the chase. We had some great chase races, so only more of the same to come. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to full knockout chase, knockout rounds. Man, that's going to bring an extra dynamic to it, so it should be entertaining when we get down to it next season.
Yeah, for sure, guys. It's definitely been an excellent year, and definitely looking forward to the things that we're building on from here. And just as opposition in the league, man, it's great to have good people around you, such as the admins we got, both of you guys, and just the racers, the quality and the respect that each one of them show. And we didn't get to talk to John Fershing tonight, but he definitely exudes exactly what we want in a champion here at NAVSCAR. So definitely congratulations to him, and looking forward to seeing who's going to try to dethrone the two-time champion next year. It's definitely going to be exciting to see.
And that reminds me to let people know, if you're interested in being a part of this, we're going to be opening up registration tomorrow. So if you want to apply to the league, if you want to be a part of something a little bit different, a little bit more serious than your average iRacing race, check us out, www.navscar.com. All the information you need is on the website. You can apply there, and we'd love to have new racers on board, and we're always looking for new talent, and we're also looking for new people to help out with the league. So if you think you have something to add to us, or if you have some suggestions on how we can be better with the league or the broadcast, let us know, man. We love getting the feedback, and we look forward to getting the next season underway.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you give one more shout out to our sponsor this season?
Yeah, don't forget Real Deal Graphics. Check them out on Facebook. Like I said, I can't say it enough. Paints bringing an extra dynamic to the race, to iRacing in general. That's one of the cool things that they allow us to do as racers, is completely customize our paints however we like, and it brings that sponsorship and that real racing feel to the track. And I don't know about you guys, but being on the track and racing guys that are in different unique paints and watching broadcasts with real life paint schemes, man, it's pretty cool. And if you want to get your own paint scheme, you can check those guys out. They'll help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Those unique paints are something that you definitely want on the car, and a lot of guys make sure they go out of their way to make sure that their car is distinguishable out on the track. So if you get a chance, get a paint, $25. That's pretty impressive.
Dustin, any final comments for the season, my friend?
No, like I said, man, just good to be here with each and every one of y'all, and what we've started here at NAVSCAR is just it's right on path with what we dreamed up over a year ago when we first sat down and talked about it. And I tell you what, it's just exciting to see what we've become in a short period of time, and just excited to see all the new things we have for next year, as well as everything that this league does. So just appreciate all you guys, and definitely looking forward to next season.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about where we were a year ago and where we are today, and it's actually even crazier to think about where we're going to be a year from today. So I'm looking forward to getting the season underway and all the new innovative stuff we can add to the league. I know it's going to be great. and hopefully our viewers are entertained by it and they come and check us out every year. So, with that, Dustin Phillips, Jamie Christensen, I'm Mike Fair. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in 6 weeks at Daytona.